Call this meeting to order. Please stand and pledge the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Roll call. Mr. Yoakum.
Present.
Mr. Crosley.
Present.
What's wrong here?
Three more times.
Huh?
3 more times, present.
Approval of the minutes from last meeting, please.
Make a motion be accepted.
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. Approve the claims and the payroll.
Make a motion be accepted.
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. You got a copy of the treasury report there in front of
Yeah.
you. Any questions on that?
Nope. Pretty good return.
So on the treasury report,
Yeah.
Yes.
She said just what she
Where do you
did.
got anything to say about
Interest rates are just really low,
okay.
so there's nothing we can control about that.
So we made 99,000 this year.
So far.
So
yes.
far. That's through October.
Yeah. About probably a third of what we made last year.
That'd be about right.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Open
Discussion.
issues.
Anybody else got any questions?
Okay. COVID-19 update. Mindy?
Huh.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mindy.
I want to give you guys something that, I think I give this to you before, but this is the cases that we've had from March 27th was our first case till Friday. We don't have any updated numbers as of Friday. The state's website is down right now, so. You guys need one. Okay, thank you. So currently, of course, we are in orange. We have not heard anything, any update from the state. As of, usually they will contact us if we are changing colors with the state status. So as of right now, as far as we know, we are at still orange, which is moderate to high spread. We are seeing several cases, positive cases. These numbers reflect on the cases. These are not anyone that has tested. This is positive cases within Vermillion County. So it's 363 total that we've had so far.
That tested positive.
That have tested positive. These are residents from Vermillion County. Our testing site, as of Saturday, we have tested 956 people. Now, they can come from any county, so that's not necessarily only Vermillion County residents. That we have them from Edgar County, we've had Fountain County, Park County, Vigo County, and Vermillion. So anyone can come and get tested. We allow them to. The state has us do that.
You said it was 900 and some?
956.
And that's from the start of?
We started September 9th.
That's how many we got now total?
That's how many we've tested.
Tested, okay. And tested, okay.
Yes.
You guys testing Saturday down there?
Yes, we're testing Tuesday through Saturday, and we do have 2 evenings after hours from 4 to 7 on Tuesday and Thursday. Today is a very heavy day. I know they're almost full, and that is 12 people per hour that we test. So usually when there's a weekend, the next day that they're open, they have several that test.
Is that just drive up?
It is drive up. We do ask that they stay in the vehicle because we are testing people that do have symptoms, so we do not want them in the building. And so we register them. We ask that they register online, and there is a website that is scheduling.coronavirus.in.gov. And we ask that they do that. It's a quicker process. And once they do that, it's very simple for us. We just check them in, and then we do have people that go out and swab right at the vehicle, so they don't even have to get out of their cars.
How long does it take for that results to get back?
3 to 5 days, business days, 3 to 5 business days. Sometimes they come back earlier, But we know with the increase around, all counties around us, because every county's testing right now, it could take a little longer.
What percentage is it on the positive cases versus your testing?
I couldn't give you that number, Tim, I'm not sure.
Yesterday's information was like 7.8 or something.
What do you say?
7.8.
7.8?
Mhm.
On the state website.
So I believe it's going very well. I mean, we are testing, and that's important. One thing we are seeing is, and we are getting complaints about people that are in quarantine. It is so important, if you are serving a 14-day quarantine, that you stay with that quarantine. You should not be out. And a quarantine is if you've been exposed to the virus. We do not want you out in the public.
When you say exposed to the virus, what does that mean? You've been around someone for so long with who's tested
What
positive?
it is, it's 15 minutes within a 6-foot area. And that could be 2 minutes here, 10 minutes in an hour. It's not 15 minutes at one time. It could be throughout the day within a 6-foot area.
Within how many hours?
It could be all day long. I might be with Stephanie 10 minutes and then come back and be with her a few more. If it's 15 minutes, 6 foot, then you are
24
officially
period.
exposed.
In a 24-hour period, that's what.
So it is important that they do stay in quarantine. You might not have any symptoms, but still, you could still be asymptomatic and not have any, and still affect people out in the community. So, of course, our schools right now, North Vermillion Elementary and High School are on e-learning. South Vermillion yesterday has the high school on e-learning, and I'm not sure Mr. Chapman was going to notify us on any changes. And we are in constant contact with the schools and the school nurses, and they are doing a wonderful job keeping us informed, as well as their parents.
Have you heard any bad cases or anything that was really rough on the kids, or is it affecting the kids a different way? I mean, it's not really affecting them that much, or?
I think it's just how you shed the virus. I mean, we've had kids that are sick. A lot of them, their symptoms are not as severe as the adults, but they do have symptoms.
I have a question. I'm hearing that in Indiana it takes a week to 10 days to get test results back, but that people are going over into Illinois and getting results in like 15 minutes.
There is, Valley Professionals does the rapid test,
Yeah.
which is in 15 minutes. We do not. So they're probably doing rapid testing over there. We don't have that at this point. I think the only one in our area is Valley Professionals that does it within 15 minutes, yes.
Are they still only offering that to their patients?
Yeah, you have to be an established patient there. And then the hospital, you do have to have a doctor's order to be tested. Ours, you do not, and there is no charge for ours.
Is there any difference in the accuracy of those tests in 15 minutes versus
A positive's a positive, so.
How's the funding for that? We got the funding for that, everything in place?
We have not received the funding yet. It's supposedly in the state auditor's hands, so we are waiting on that. We should have all of the money by the end of the year, which is $100,000. And the testing site will be open through June of 2021. But also, we're looking at the vaccine coming our way as well. So the state has not given us a delivery date. Of course, we are not in the first phase of that. So I will keep you guys updated as we get information on that.
Thank you, Wanda.
You're welcome.
Okay, Vermillion Rise, Bob Gruey.
Morning.
Morning, Bob.
I just have a few things I'd like to share. One, it has been nice that we continue to get a nice stream of inquiries from the state, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and we respond to those inquiries. And again, I just want to remind folks that, you know, if we didn't have the shell building, we would not be responding to any of these inquiries, because again, most of the inquiries are for existing buildings. So the shell building is still working for us in that regard of getting Vermillion County out into the marketplace and that sort of thing. You know, the note about interest rates, our carrying cost for the building is based on prime plus 1%, and then all the other costs we got, but that prime plus 1 has dropped, and so our costs have been less too. So that's been a nice outcome. It doesn't do much for people wanting a return on their money in the bank, but it's helped us from lowering our cost. The replacement of our emergency generator in the waterworks building is coming along. Sycamore has finally identified a solution. They actually, followed a paper trail back and found the folks that installed that many years ago. And so we think we've got a solution there, and that'll be helpful. And we're also looking forward to Penny's meeting Thursday night with the Plan Commission. We understand there would be a public hearing on the ordinance for solar energy that's being developed. So whenever that can be put in place, that'll certainly give the solar developers confidence of the playing field and how to move forward. So that's all I have this morning.
I have to tell you a few things. Working with HWC on the water, they should be getting in contact with you. They're designing the new water supply for the jail for a chlorinated main,
Okay.
which we're going to include that with the jail project.
Wonderful.
They need to be done for a long time. So,
Yeah.
one other question I was going to ask you is there ever been or so you're dealing with a commercial real estate person on marketing the building, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way you get them, since they're involved in commercial real estate, is there any way you get them to do a commercial appraisal of that building? Because what's the building about $2.1 million for sale for, or what, or three? What is the price?
3.5.
What is it?
3.5 is the list.
I'd like to know what the appraisal would be on that building.
Okay, I can ask them that.
Because if we have someone come in and want it, and if the building's $1.5 million higher, or it might be $1.5 million less than what it's really appraised at, I think it really make a difference in being attractive.
Oh, you got to be able to finance it, and that appraisal has to hold up.
Yeah.
You're right.
So if you get that for us, we'd
Okay.
appreciate that.
Do that. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Bob. Anything else for the Vermillion Trails Alliance here? Is that big?
I met with Les Zimmerman and Tom Milligan, and they're building that road along the railroad track to the levee at the train trestle, and Kenizer Excavating so many tons of gravel. Then they donated, yesterday he donated a bunch of oversized stone to fill in the low spots and mud holes. So we got the gravel made and just getting ready to haul it.
The county's gonna haul it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, IT update.
So with the IT stuff, still waiting on, we wanted to wait for the election to get done before we moved moved the CSI server to the new environment. So we're waiting on that. But that's really the only thing that's holding us up for the IT update. Everything else is pretty much done.
Okay.
I'll ask you a question real quick. The other night when we had an issue, I don't know if it's involved you, but I know Phelps got involved with it as far as the information getting out during the election. And there was a problem there, he had to switch it over to a different server or something, or...
Yeah, it's a problem with your web host. So what happens is you get a county full of residents banging the same site at the same time, and it just can't sustain that traffic. So they probably had to move it to a higher traffic server to allow it to come back up.
Okay, would that be something that we need to go to the person who takes care of the web page to make it wider, more?
Well, so that was during the election. You probably won't see that again. So on normal circumstances, that would never have happened. But yeah, if you want to go to the web host and tell them that you need a higher traffic bandwidth allowance, that's not a bad idea, but it may cost more.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, on the phones, right here.
On the phones, we just finished up soil and water yesterday, so those are all completely done. Still working to get that second ISP in here, but everything else has been pretty smooth.
Okay. Thanks, sir. Okay, the jail renovation. Tim, you got an update on that?
On the jail renovation, the next meeting here in 2 weeks, Mr. Kraus and the engineers will have the final, all the schematics and everything there are done, and then after that, we will take that and do a presentation for funding at the next council meeting scheduled after that. What would the next council meeting be after the next commissioners meeting? So we're looking at days of 10th, so 24th. What after the 24th will be the next meeting for the council? The 7th?
The commissioners December 8th, the council December 14th.
Well, the days of 10th.
Yeah.
Our next meeting will be on the 24th of November.
Yeah, and then December 8th, and then the council December 14th. Jack said he would be.
Okay, I'm saying the next meeting for the council after that is December the 14th, you're saying, after that second meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I got the date right. December the 14th. Okay. Okay. Anybody got any questions about the jail?
Kevin, you got anything to say?
Nope, I'm good. John, on the handbook, you're still waiting?
There's a little section that I need to remind me I need to rewrite, and I should have that done by next meeting.
Okay. The position of ERC, job description, is anything done on that yet?
I checked with the state, and the state said that on the community crossing grant, there is no requirement for that position to be there. So the only time that position is being used is for
Federal aid.
for
Federal aid.
for culvert projects.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Bridge inspections. And
You what?
bridge inspections.
Mhm.
Bridge inspections also.
Okay, I haven't got that one. But we'll have some more talk about that. More discussion between you and I, or us three, between now and next meeting.
You know, Bridge, Spring Creek, Walt, you just say that price be held next year? And he could talk to the new commissioners, see if they was interested in pursuing that. They need to look at it and see what's going on.
Okay.
Highway capital improvement plan? Nothing more to improve on
Never heard nothing else
Yeah,
about
we just
that.
we have to write a new plan
that. Okay.
for 21, 22.
Okay.
You just have to do it by the end of the year. So,
Okay,
I'm
you're
sure it's on
gonna-
John's to-do list.
You probably get.
I thought we emailed you one yesterday.
I didn't get it.
Okay, I'll check.
Oh,
on
double
the
check
phone.
on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
'cause
I can talk to you later about it.
Okay, 2021 bid specs
They've been sent out.
been set out. The next meeting then?
Yeah, you'll receive them at your December 8th meeting, and then you'll award them at your December 22nd.
Okay. Okay, long duty pay.
And have any other discussion on that?
Melissa.
On Melissa, she's lacking a year. You know, since she was laid off and called back. I'd be willing to give her that 1 year, since she was here before for 17 years.
I've got 23 full-time years. I've got over 28 and a half for the county service, which should have been 30. I was laid off for 16 months.
Okay.
It was not a voluntary layoff, it was a layoff.
Yes.
So, I don't know why, I don't understand why I would not get my 23 years of full-time service.
When was you laid off?
I was laid off December 31st, 2009. I came back to work in the clerk's office in April of 2011, and that was the position that was offered to me. I took the first position that was offered to me,
And that was part-time.
and that was part-time.
It's part-time?
Mhm.
Well, what do we have according to what she's presenting versus what we have?
it's just up to you guys. You have to decide how the rules applied. It's your rule, your handbook, you have to decide how it's gonna be applied.
That's what I'm asking you, according to the handbook, it says,
I don't have the text in front of me,
Okay.
I can try to look it up and read it after the
I would
meeting.
like to know your take on it from,
Yeah, it's-
what the handbook
But
says.
again, it's still gonna be your rule, it's
Our
how
rule.
you want it to work.
And she was laid off. I mean, she didn't ask for laid off, she was laid off. Her part-time job was in the county, and then we called her back.
Laid off due to budget,
Hmm?
due to financial budgeting.
We had to make some cuts, and then we've done away with the highway superintendent and her position in the highway office.
When I left, I didn't take my perf or my AUL out, because I was hopeful I would get called back.
Right now, what it's showing, how many years, with the way it's set up, how many years will you have showing?
23.
How many?
23 full-time years.
Okay, but I mean, with right now, the way it's setting,
The way it's setting, I've been back to the highway department 4 years.
And the handbook say something like, what's it say, 5 or 5? That's why I said, if you didn't do anything, I'd give her the 5 years. But my personal opinion, if she was laid off, we called her back, she's entitled. That's just mine. It's not trying to influence anybody else, that's just mine.
if she was laid off because of, no cause of her, but
No.
because of funding, I can see that, so. I'm just wondering if that'll set a precedent of doing something different than what the handbook says.
It's probably gonna set a precedent, but then you gotta look at each case individually. She has, I think, a valid case at 23 full-time years, I mean.
You see, he was laid off for 16 months, is that what it was? And then he came back.
But in that 16 months, she had a part-time job within the county, is that correct?
Yeah. Preferring to.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it, as long as it's within the scope of what the handbook says, and we're not doing something out of.
I'm trying to deal with the highway capital improvement plan ordinance,
Okay.
and then I'll try to look at the
We
handbook.
can come back to that if you want to.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll have to have it in writing, so we'll have to have a document for the next meeting,
Okay.
stating
So,
exactly what you wanna do.
you wanna state what you wanna, how you
I
wanna?
want to table until we get,
Okay.
what?
And we can make it retroactive,
Okay,
you know,
we'll table it then, all right.
We'll look into it for you.
We'll look at it again, what, the 8th?
24th or the 8th, it's up
Okay,
to
all right.
John.
Okay. On the 2021 appointments?
I'll make a motion that we let the new commissioners make the appointments after the first year, January 1. They can have a special meeting and
I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
The other thing is, on this board appointments is,
John was
Did
looking
you
at
already-
the staggering part.
I looked at the meeting part, I didn't look at every single position. I did look at staggering, I sent you guys a statute to read last month.
now back to the Rice situation, did we come up with a decision on that they all, were there 5 of them?
Well, they're supposed to be staggered by the way the statute reads. That they should not all be appointed at once. The way the statute reads, I think it's 1, 2, 2 or something like that. It's every other year. They when you first created the board, one person would serve a 1-year term and the others would serve a 2-year, and then they settled into 4-year terms that went I believe every other year.
Is there any way we go back on the record when they was appointed and go every 2 years from that appointment date? And would that be, can we just
I think
make
they're 4-year terms.
4-year terms?
Yeah. I'm trying to get the handbook up on my screen.
But
I can stop doing that and try to look at that statute if you want.
But my question is, do we have the records that we could find where they was appointed, so we could base that on the start of their term?
I think there's only been one change since they started on the board, on the membership on the board, so it should be too hard to find.
Surely that record could be found somewhere.
on your appointments, I think Penny, Mark, and Melissa, so I think that's all's in here. They're not appointed. They're doing regular jobs. And them other deals are, you're talking about the Rise Board and all that, they're appointed.
So what, we're gonna, I think we need some time. If the new commissioners are gonna be addressing this, I think they ought to have, at least till the end of January. I mean, at least 2 meetings, one meeting to take applicants and next meeting to make decisions.
I think you can do that, cause you gotta have.
If you don't appoint at a certain time, they'll make the roll, don't they, John?
You gotta have people.
They serve until their replacement, but yeah, the meetings have to be scheduled by the end of January, I think. And I can grab that statute next, but I'm trying to get to the statute on the board that you just asked me a question about.
So you gonna table it, John research and get back with you?
Say it one more time?
You wanna table it till John gets the research back to you on your appointments, when you can do that?
I don't know.
Like, like Terry,
Them-
he's not appointed.
Yeah.
Used to be, we had to have him appointed so he'd be able to come to work January 1.
Yeah, I agree with that. We could address that again at the next meeting, I guess.
Or we could just go ahead and make the appointments if you don't wanna make them. We can make, us three can make the appointments, and then
That'd be fine. That'd be fine.
last meeting of the month, or you can
Yep.
do it the first meeting of January.
Okay, that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
While he's looking, have you heard anything on your monument yet?
Yeah. He told me that, as soon as they call him, he's gonna drive down and get it.
Just we'll get it done by the end
I
of the
told
year.
him he wanted it done before the end of the year.
Okay. And on the E91 addresses update, Penny's not in here. There she is.
I thought you wanted Derek here, he's not here.
Okay.
The address is
I
still
sent him an
out.
email right after the last meeting, telling him that Penny wanted to discuss this, so.
Okay.
I don't think it's Penny wants to discuss this, I think the citizens
Your
of Franklin
commissioner.
County want to discuss this.
Regardless, I let him know after the last meeting.
Great. Still, as of this morning, I have,
Can you come up here, Penny, to the podium, please?
As of this morning, I still have 16 911 addresses that are not on the map.
How many?
16 of those, 7 are new homes, which I can verify that 4 are currently being lived in. 3 are hunting cabins. We're talking high dollar hunting cabins. I don't understand why they're not addressed. I sent him an email on Monday the 26th because I was having issues. I couldn't get an address confirmed. Told him I needed it for a building permit. 10 days later, I sent a second request, and he finally answered me. I've had complaints from Bianca from Wallace Builders. She's called me and chewed on me numerous times in the last couple of weeks. Finally, this week, I gave her Tim Yoakum and Tim Wilson's phone numbers to call you guys to voice her concerns.
What does he say here, the response is when you ask him to do this?
I sent him telling him these addresses.
I mean, I'm saying, how does he respond?
I don't get a response.
You don't get a response, okay.
Tim, I think we probably need to ask that, 'cause that's putting her into a battle position we don't have in there.
I will
Right,
address that today.
And my problem with it is, I'm the person they come to get the temporary 911 rep. I'm the face they see. I mean, we had a fire last night. People turned around because they went to the wrong location. Down the road from my house, there's a brand new house just down the road that doesn't have a 911 address. It has kids and a family living in it. And these addresses have to get on the map. You can get to the neighborhood with the address that I've assigned them, but until they're actually on the map, they're not pinpointed to the location.
Okay.
It just needs to be addressed.
Mike's not here today, is he?
No.
I think 911's you guys appoint them.
Correct.
911 coordinators under the commissioners.
Oh, one of us make a phone call. I have no problem making a phone call today about it.
We'll take care of that.
I will contact you, Penny.
Oh, you ready, John?
Well, the term is 2 years beginning the 1st January after appointment. So when you appoint someone, if you say you appoint them January 2nd, that 2 years wouldn't start until the following January 1st. So if you want to look at the appointees and when they were appointed, and then count forward to the 1st of January after their appointment, and then go 2 years out from that, then they become eligible for reappointment. And they serve until their successor is appointed. So if you wanted to stagger the terms, you could very easily stagger the terms by just looking at the records and figuring out when people were appointed.
What I'm saying is if we could find out when they was appointed the first time and go every 2 years, we would know where they're at in the stagger.
Yeah, we wouldn't even have to look back that far. We should be able to figure that out relatively easily.
I wonder if we can go back that far record-wise.
We wouldn't have to. We just only have to go back a few years, because the longest somebody could be serving
Right.
would be 2 years and 364 days. So if you just went back 3 years, anybody appointed within the last 3 years may have some eligibility. Anybody appointed more than 3 years ago, they're eligible to be reappointed.
And so if we would also go over a little bit on that time of the yearly, it wouldn't make a difference. They still continue to serve until...
They serve till their successor's appointed.
Okay.
So
that would give us some time if we wanted to go...
Yes, you could take your time, look at it, and then if you guys just wanted to say, we're going to reappoint 2 people this year and 2 people next year and 1 person the year after.
I think the only one, looking at the list, the only one that's on there is John Michael. His commissioner appointment, he's the only one that's not up for reappointment. Everybody else is up for appointment, so. We made a change a couple of years ago when he got on there. Everybody else has been there since the beginning. That's something you want to know.
And actually, that was the next statute I was looking at, you can remove them at any time. So there's no criteria to remove someone. So technically, you can reappoint everyone whenever you want.
Okay.
All right. Anything else come for me this morning?
Got some new business. You're on new business
Yep.
now? After the first year, I think we're going to start something different. After the commissioners meeting, we're going to have a county highway department meeting. It will be with all 3 commissioners, with all 3 highway garage superintendents, and that way there will have some way to communicate with the public. If you have any road issues, you come and talk about it. You come see the road plan we're doing. I think that that communication would help us as far as in the county. That clear communication, I think, would be a big asset to everyone. Plus, it would be an open meeting, public meeting. I think that's important to have public meetings, and with the new people coming in, you'll see a lot more public meetings and informing people, probably a lot more normal.
Okay, thank
But I
you.
think it's important.
Did you
Here's
say
the capital improvement plan.
your secretary had to be there too?
Yeah,
So
Melissa will be
she'll
there
know.
also.
So that she won't be getting blindsided, is she?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's a major part of this. She knows the finances, and you'd be on your own turn during the morning, or it'd be on your common time. But I think it's a good thing to start to make the communication better and be an open meeting for everybody to come. If you want to gripe about a road or even come and give us a compliment, that would be fine. But I think it'd be a good program to start. So we're looking at doing that.
We have the extension educator and contractual services here. Becky. I'm sorry, Becky, I didn't skip over you there.
That's all right.
So this is just the annual formality. The county council had approved the educator contracts, and just need the signature. There's 2 spots there too. So Purdue pays all of our fringe benefits, so it's not an expense to the county, but this is just a contractual services for our salaries. We thank the commissioners for your continued support.
Missed one.
Yeah. EEO statement. Mrs. Hoffman.
No.
Thank you very much.
There's another situation I want to talk about real quickly. There's a drainage issue with the town of Cayuga. It's been there for a long time. Taking water in from the west side of Cayuga, and it's created a lot of problems with their line blowing up in people's yards. I talked to Hennewago Klein. They're looking at doing some research on it and get a proposal here. We ain't spending no money. We're just trying to investigate what we can do to. It's a county, it's a city issue, county-town issue, so if we can figure out some way to get that problem resolved, I think it'd be very helpful. But we will have a proposal. There's been no money spent on it, won't be no money spent until it's approved, but trying to figure out a way to get this resolved, and I think within the next meeting we'll probably have something here, a proposal that we can talk about.
I think there's a ditch there, but you'd have to buy that one house out and move it and let the water where it should naturally roll back around. Use it by the guy's house out. They built that house in drainage long before they had laws that could do that.
Yeah. We're going to try to come up with a solution for it, so.
Anything else come for the board? Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to
Second.
adjourn.
Second.
I still think you gotta make an appointment. I still think you gotta make an appointment first of the year. Still, that's the back of it. That way there to fill our guys back in there.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You know, and
I
I
sent
gotta
you
buy this anymore.
the capital
You know.
improvement plan ordinance. I sent it to you, Amy, and me, so.
Okay.
Then
You
you
sent it
have to
yesterday, I don't know
get
where
rid
it
of
went to,
all that stuff,
cyberspace, but.
Then this meeting, we're gonna have to have a third. When it's,
Print it off the next meeting.
Yeah, it's just gotta be done by the end of the year.
the ERC position. We better have it pretty quick, because she's gonna have to take that test and stuff, and she says she's not gonna take that. You better have meeting pretty quick, because if you want her, you know, if she wants the job, she's gonna take that job.
sorry you had to come out here last
Well,
night.
I was down here, I called him and says, look, most likely Ron Max burning it off like he does every year. It's probably nothing. And someone drove by and seen it, you know, and called, I said, you're gonna find out. I said, and I told my assistant chief
I
same
know
thing.
he doesn't get very many nights off, and I just hate for him coming out
He's
there.
working for me.
Stephanie, would you want to shut off the, I think we're still broadcasting.
Hey, Ron?
My
Hey, Eric, is them
sheet back.
two
Tim's looking
numbers
at
right
it,
or
Tim,
were they
you'll
wrong?
present that.